Hi, in this webinar we're going to be taking a close look at the billing management feature inside Mission Control. The billing management functionality inside Mission Control allows us to generate both invoices and credit notes relating to projects. The four core objects that we're using to support the billing management feature are the billing event item, the billing payment, and the tax rate. We have the ability to generate invoices on our projects in one of three ways. We can generate them manually when a milestone becomes complete or on a periodic basis. We also have the ability to generate the invoice as a PDF that can be customized with our own branding, and we can share that with our clients. Looking at the objects that drive the billing management process inside Mission Control in a bit more detail, you can see on the right hand side here we've got the four core objects highlighted. The billing event is the header information for an individual invoice or credit note. The billing event item contains the individual items, the line items of an invoice or a credit note. The billing payment relates to the money that has been received by the client in receipt of the invoice. And the tax rate allows you to build up a library of tax rate records that you can use on your projects to specify which tax rate should be included when generating invoices or credit notes relating to that particular project. So for example, Australian GST, sales tax, UK VAT, they would all have their own individual tax rate records. In terms of generating the invoices, there are three billing cycle options. You can generate them manually, so self-explanatory, that you'll go off and create your billing event and billing event item as required, and this can be used on both fixed price and time and materials projects. For milestone billing cycle, we can generate an invoice on a fixed price or a time and materials project, and you'll need to enter the tax label and payment terms on the project object for that feature. This feature will automatically create a billing event and a billing event item when the milestone status is marked as complete. The periodic billing cycle is only available for time and materials billing type, and you will need to specify the tax label, the payment terms, the periodic billing frequency, the periodic billing next date, and it will automatically create a billing event and billing event items for both approved time logs and expenses occurred during the periodic billing frequency. If you're going to be using the billing management feature, there's a few settings that you need to activate. Note, this is currently only available on the Salesforce Classic console, so if you're using Lightning, you'll just need to quickly switch back to Classic and configure these settings, and then you can go back to Lightning. So in the billing automation section, there are a few things to look at here. So the invoice generation active checkbox needs to be set to true, and that schedules a process that will run every 5 minutes, and it will generate any PDFs of invoices or credit notes that are sitting there waiting to be generated. The periodic billing active checkbox will also need to be set to active if you're looking to use the periodic billing feature, and what you need to do is set the runtime. So by setting that, it indicates that at that time of day, every day, the periodic billing process will run, and any periodic billing invoices that need to be raised will be generated at that time. The second section shows you where you can actually brand the invoice template and the credit note template. So in this section, you can see I'm able to specify the invoice header text, the credit header text. I can set my own logo that I want to appear on the template. I can put in my own business number, and I can put in the details of what I want to appear in the footer notes of the invoice. So in this example, I've put in the payment details, so my client has my bank details ready to submit payment. If I tick the box to remove the Mission Control logo from the PDF, this will simply remove the Mission Control logo from the footer of the invoice template. You have two options when creating a tax rate. On the left hand side of the screen here, you can see that we've created a tax rate that is going to be using the default values for the company and the labels that are specified on the PDF template. So this is an example here where I've got Australian GST. So I've specified the tax label, the tax rate, the date format, the currency, the code, and the symbol. Over on the right hand side, another example where I've actually set this up for a completely different business entity. So rather than using my default company details, I'm going to be raising invoices under this tax rate for another company. And you can see I've also overridden the details for the PDF template labels. So in this example, I've translated them all to German. So now we're going to run through a few demos, and the first one we're going to be creating a manual billing event. You can see on this project I haven't yet completed any of the billing information settings on the project record. So what I'm going to do first of all is jump in and edit that information. I'm able to put in the purchase order number that the client has supplied me. I'm next going to look at the tax rate that I want to use. So I'm going to be looking up the Australian GST, and I just want to use the default value. I'm not using my German translation override, so I'm just going to select that one. And here I'm going to be specifying that it's a manual billing cycle, and I'm going to be generating payment terms of 7 days. All of the other information can be left blank as it's not required in this example. So now I can click on save, and what I'm able to do now is scroll down and raise my billing event. So first of all, I'm going to click on the new billing event button. I'm able to specify the billing event name. I can choose whether it's an invoice or a credit. So in this example, I'm going to say it's invoice and it's in draft status. So then I'm going to put in a summary, and the summary is a piece of text that will appear on the invoice template that goes out to the client. In this example, I'm not relating it to a particular milestone, so I'll leave that blank. And I'm going to say that I'm raising the invoice today and my due date will be in 7 days. So the tax rate will automatically populate once I click save, based on the tax rate specified on the project. So the next step is for me to build out the individual line items that I need to go in support of this billing event. So I might not only need one, for example. So what I'm going to do is click on new billing event item. I'm going to put in a name here. And again, the description is the text that will appear on the invoice to the client. I have the ability to specify a ledger code if I've entered some. Over here, I'm going to say I'm raising an invoice for $2,000, and I'm indicating that tax is applicable. Again, the tax amount will be calculated for me based on the tax rate. So that's my billing event item record created. I'm now going to go back up to the billing event, and you can see that it's automatically rolling up the amount plus the tax, giving me the total amount. And over here we obviously haven't received any money yet, therefore the total outstanding is $2,200. So that's our manual billing event created and ready for issuing to the client. In this demonstration, we're going to be taking a look at the milestone billing feature. So you'll see on this project, I've already got it set up. I've got a billing type of fixed price, and I've already set it to be billing cycle of milestone. I've set my tax label and I've specified my payment terms to be 14 days. So the next step for a milestone billing cycle is to specify on the milestone the amount that we want to raise the invoice for. So what I'm going to do here is just via the Gantt chart, I'm just going to double click and edit on the milestone, and I'm going to specify that we want to raise an invoice when this milestone gets marked as complete. So I'm going to tick that box there, and I've got the option here of specifying the amount that I want to actually raise the invoice for. So I'm going to specify that we're looking to raise an invoice for $3,000. So first of all, I'm going to save that so we're all ready to go. So that's now been saved. Now you can see underneath my milestone, I've got three actions here. Two of them have already been fully completed, and this one is in progress. So what we're going to do is actually mark this one as complete, which will in turn trigger the design milestone to be marked as complete, which will then initiate the billing event to be created. So I'm just going to double click on the action there, mark that as complete, and click on save, and then save the record, save the Gantt chart. Now that that's been done, if I refresh my page and if I scroll down, you'll see that a billing event has been generated based on that invoice, based on that milestone being marked as complete. So let's jump in and take a look at that now. So in a similar fashion to the manual one, you can see that it's automatically specified that it's an invoice, it's in draft status, it's pulled in the project name into the summary, it's linking through to the specific milestone, it's generated the invoice number, the invoice date, and the due date based on the payment terms specified on the project. You can see that the total amount is for the $3,000 that we specified on the milestone, and underneath here we've got our completion, we've got our design completion billing event item specifying the details. So again, this is an invoice that's now ready to be generated as a PDF, so we can send it to the client, and it's all been done as a result of simply marking the milestone as complete. In this example, we're going to take a look at how the periodic billing works on a project. You can see here on this project I've got my billing type set to time and materials, and I've got my billing cycle set to periodic with my billing frequency being monthly. I'm asking for the next billing date to happen on the 8th of March. So when my daily billing process runs, what will happen is there will be a billing event created and two separate line items, one for any approved time logs and one for any approved expenses. You can see if we scroll down, there are time entries sitting there that are completed and they are already approved, and you can also see I have some expenses sitting here that are also approved. If I scroll down, there's currently no billing events created, so we're just going to run that that periodic billing process. So the periodic billing process is just run in the background, and now you'll notice if I scroll down, you'll see that the periodic billing last date has been set to the 8th of March, and therefore based on the fact that we're doing monthly billing frequency, the next billing date has been set to the 8th of April. So if we scroll down now, you'll notice that a billing event has been created and indicates that it's run on the 8th of March. So let's drill in and see what that's created for us. So you can see again it's an invoice, it's draft status, it's pulling in the project summary details, and it's pulled in a total amount, but you can see this time it's got two separate billing event items. One is for the time logs up to the 8th of March, and the other one is for expenses up to the 8th of March. So if I drill into the time logs, for example, you'll see that this time, because it's a time and materials billing event on a periodic basis, it's linking all of the time logs that have been captured as part of this billing event item. So each one of these will now actually will have been marked as being invoiced, and you can see there is now a relationship to a billing event item. So our invoice has been generated this time based on any time logs and any expenses that have been incurred and approved during the billing period. And the next time the invoice will be raised will be on the 8th of April. We're now going to take a look at how we can generate a PDF of the billing event and billing event items that can then be sent off to the client for approval and payment. In this example here, we've got our billing event already created, so I'm just going to drill into that. Now obviously we have a process that runs on a 5-minute cycle that will generate any PDFs that need to be created. And what it does is generates the file that you can see down here, and it also generates a link that is shareable with any external recipient. So you don't have to give your client access to Salesforce or Mission Control. You can simply send them a copy of that link and they'll be able to access that. So we can see that we've already got our file generated on this occasion. So what we're going to do is just click on the View PDF button, and that will open up the PDF for us to take a look at in preview mode. So you can see up in the top left it shows my logo that I've chosen to customize my template. Up on the top right corner it's pulling in my tax invoice label that I've specified on the console. It's pulling in my company name and address details along with my business number, obviously pulling in the contact and account details in terms of the address for the company that we are invoicing, and then it's pulling in things like the invoice number, the purchase order, the invoice date, due date, summary, and you can see here this is the time and materials invoice. So I've got one line item for my time logs and a separate line item for my expenses. Values for each giving me a total plus GST, and you can see down the bottom I've got my footer notes, and I haven't chosen to disable the mission control logo there, so that's appearing in the footer. If we now take a look at the progress payment that we made earlier based on another project, what we're able to do, if we do need to make any changes to the billing event items, it will flag up here that we need to update the PDF. So for example here I'm going to go in and change the amount here from 2,000 to 2,500. So you'll see there that's now changed and reflected on the records. What it's doing is telling me that my PDF needs to be updated. So I can wait for that 5-minute cycle to come along, or if I want to send it immediately I can simply click on the View PDF and it will identify that it needs to be regenerated. So it's given me the option there to click the button to regenerate that PDF. So it's automatically regenerated the PDF showing the correct details ready to send to the client. So now we're going to take a look at the most important thing. How do we actually get the invoice to the client so they can pay the bills? So what we've got is the ability obviously to provide them with this shareable link. So what we can do is scroll down just using standard Salesforce send an email functionality within activity history. Click that button. Now there's a predefined template in there. So what we're going to do is just select the billing event notification client. What that's going to do is merge in the details, and I'm just going to send that to myself as an example here. So I'm going to send that. So you'll now see the client receives the email, contains all of the detail that we want to present in the email template, and it contains a copy of the shareable link. So the client is able to simply click that link. That's going to open up the PDF. It will allow the client to preview the form and also download it as a PDF for their own records. Once the client has paid the invoice, we're able to come back to the billing event record and record a billing payment. So what we're going to do is click on New Billing Payment here. We can put in the payment name, specify the date that it was paid and the amount. And we can put in a reference. So by clicking on Save there, that's going to go away and create that billing payment. If I go back up to the billing event, you'll see a couple of things that have happened. It's actually marked it as paid automatically because the outstanding value is now 0. So we can see that the total amount has been paid, nothing's remaining. So if we jump up to the project and take a look there as well, you'll see that we can see a summary here. Obviously we've invoiced 2,500 plus tax, giving us a total of 2,750. We've received all of that money. There's been no credits and therefore nothing outstanding. And based on our project budget here of 6,000, we can see that there is a total remaining to be invoiced of 3,500. And that's everything we're looking to cover off in this webinar, guys. Hopefully it's provided you with some insight into the billing management feature. If you do have any further questions, obviously please get in touch. Also you can refer to the user guide that's available on our website, which you can see the address up here, and we do have a full section. If we scroll down, you'll see there is a full section dedicated to billing management there.